First of all, dance is pretty much in my DNA. My mother, Dr. Rajeshwari Sainath, is an internationally acclaimed artist who's been doing for 5 decades now. The beauty of both of us is we share the same birthday.
Oh,
Yes, so mom and me were born on the same day. Dance, yes, it's a lot of spirituality, mythology, but how is it relevant today? Today, how do we use it to show a very powerful statement or expression? In that exploration, we've done this theme. Dance is something that is so beautiful that you can embrace it at any point and age. So, for a lot of women who are in their 30s and 40s and even 50s, I don't want, if you really love the art, please go learn it because
hello, welcome to the New Indian Express. This is Ramya Vennapusala, and today we have a very special guest with us, Vaishnavi Sainath Garu. Welcome. So, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for having me here today.
Pleasure. So, can you first brief us about your yesterday's performance at Sika?
Okay, so I was performing for South Indian Cultural Association, and after a long time, I'm doing a traditional margam, like a repertoire in the city. So I was very excited about it, and I was accompanied by 6 of my senior most disciples who've been learning with me for about 15 years now. And the highlight of the theme was Manasa Strota, which means flowing through dance. And I used the concept of Navarasas, 9 emotions of our life, happiness, sad, anger, and all of that to show the flow of flow of life through dance. So Manasa Strota, and I used the concept of Navarasas in the form of a Varnam to present it.
Okay, so you are a multi dancer, right? You are specialized in multiple dance forms like Kuchipudi, Bharatanatyam, Odissi, Kalari, and contemporary dance. So, can you brief us about your journey? How did it all began?
So, first of all, dance is pretty much in my DNA. My mother, Dr. Rajeshwari Sainath, is an internationally acclaimed artist who's been doing for 5 decades now. So, I think pretty much as from the word go, dance, the atmosphere of fine arts was always at home. And dad was a cricketer who represented India in a lot of international cricket. So for me, the DNA was always either dance or sports. And when I chose dance, I also wanted to experiment a lot with different styles because India has that much to offer. And so when I was studying in my 12th grade, I decided that I want to be a professional dancer and be known as a classical dancer. So I went to Bhubaneswar, stayed there, learned Odissi with Durga Charan Ranveer sir, and then I moved to Bangalore and studied contemporary. I did contemporary dance from Attakalari, which is India's premier dance institute, and then from there Kalaripayattu happened, and then Kuchipudi happened. And as in when I was learning these styles, I also wanted to learn it to a level where I'm able to perform it and not just like learning it off YouTube or just watching something and learning. So I went to every guru, learned, got myself accredited for it, and yeah, that's my journey. And I'm very lucky that despite having a mom who's into traditional hardcore Bharatanatyam, allowed me to explore. Generally, it's very difficult to find teachers who allow the students to explore and learn the art form differently and bring out their story. It's very, so that way I got lucky, and yeah, here I am trying to use snippets of each style to present my story.
So all the dance styles are from different states. One from Andhra Pradesh, one from. So what challenges have you faced while pursuing each of them?
While pursuing Odyssey, I was staying in Bhubaneswar. One was the huge language barrier, the food, and of course the culture, the weather, the place. It's all very different, and it's not easy. I mean, as much as you're learning an art form, you're enjoying it. The journey is definitely not easy. You you pretty much are in a very uncomfortable space, and but just the pure love for the art kind of keeps you going. So that's what kept me going. So every time I used to watch Guruji and his students perform, I was like, someday I want to see myself here, and all of this doesn't matter.
Also, you include yoga in your dance performances mostly. So you are also a certified yoga trainer, and
Yeah.
you are also trained in Gatka, I guess, if I'm
Yeah,
not wrong.
yeah.
Yeah, can you brief us about?
So here is where the my dad's DNA played in, the need for adrenaline, where so for me to use Kalaripayattu or yoga or Gatka to just show a strong feminism personality, and to that that women are also strong. It's not that we're just always graceful and beautiful, that but we are also strong, is why I learned these art forms. And that's how I combine strong movements with grace. So it just makes me feel good.
Considering all the styles you're specialized in, so I just have this question. When you choose, how do you choose actually a performance for certain set of audience when you perform on?
Yeah, it's very audience driven. Like, for example, if I'm performing for Sika, then it'll be like my items will have a more traditional repertoire, traditional approach to it. So, even if you're learning different art forms, the idea is to never lose out on the fundamentals of the art form. It doesn't, even if you're doing a fusion or a culmination of two art forms, the core foundation of the art form has to stay strong, otherwise you're just lost. So but if you're so for a Sika you do a traditional repertoire, but if it's a corporate show, then you use a lot of fusion music. And that's where, also coming to the fact that my PhD that I studied was globalization in art. Like, what we see art today is very different from what we've learned about art, like at least 50-60 years back. So now art is used more as a medium of expression. It's not just mythology or spiritual, it's also used as a medium of expression, to express social relevant themes. So that was predominantly my study on PhD. The costumes have changed, the way we approach have changed. So it's become a very multimedia presentation now. So yeah, I think based on that you choose your items, your audience.
So, keeping all this aside, dance and all, you also hold 4 to 5 degrees, if I'm not wrong, in education,
Do I? Yeah,
diplomas.
I like. I think it's as much as art was in the family, there was also education. So I finished my journalism degree, and then I went on to do I did a double masters, one in HR, human resource, and the other in dance. And then I went on to study my PhD, and finally finished my management from IIM Bangalore.
So, how did you manage all this? How did you get time?
Yeah, which at the cost of not sounding very preachy or thing, but I feel like nowadays parents should, really push a lot of their children into learning different styles, different things, because time management is very important. And that's what that's been a huge part of my upbringing, that because I'm dancing, I cannot lose out on education. Or if I have an exam, it doesn't mean I can't perform. So it's very important to have time management, because I think in the generation we are, just with one skill, I don't think it's enough. I think you need to have multiple skills to really be there, and even if it's financially or for emotionally, for to like feel good about yourself, you really need to work hard and have a lot of discipline in your kitty.
So apart from dance and all, what other hobbies you have?
I like badminton and swimming and things like that.
You're
But
also state player of badminton.
I am a state basketball player.
Basketball
Yeah,
player.
so I represented my school and the state in basketball, but then eventually dance took over.
So you have performed along with your mother on many stages, right? So can you share any memorable moments from your journey?
So it's mom and me. Both of us are in the same profession, so it's a very cute, like nice, but also a lot of adjustment journey, because as a mother, she has to be a mother at times and also the guru. So there is an overlap of emotions sometimes, and I should understand that, she's a mother at some places, but she's also my teacher. So that uh, for me was difficult to adapt, and I think it's a two-way process, and I think living with one artist is difficult. Imagine living with two. So hats off to my dad for putting up with our petty fights over jewelry, over who wears what, who performs which items. So we always used to have petty fights on that, and I would go to my dad and say, "Dad, mommy is not doing this for a." So yeah, it and the beauty of both of us is we share the same birthday.
Oh,
Yes, so mom and me were born on the same day. It was July 13th. So whenever we travel, and once I remember this very touching experience. We were in Germany, and it was our birthday. We were performing, and suddenly the entire audience stood up and sang Happy Birthday in German. And our translator had told them that it's their birthday. So, and then we celebrated with the audience. We cut cake, and also that was a really memorable experience.
okay. If not or if not dance, what you would have been become?
I don't see myself doing
No,
anything
no.
else, but yeah, I would definitely be in the art field only, if not
You said
dance.
your father is a cricketer, right?
Yeah, he is. I'm very. I like sports, but I've never really pursued it as a profession, which maybe in hindsight I should have maybe taken up. But that time I was more inclined to dance. But if not dance, maybe I would have been an arts entrepreneur or something to do with arts, because I like also, being an entrepreneur that I am. So probably that.
Rajeshwari Garu is your mother and as well as your guru, right? So what are the three qualities that you have adapted from her?
Three qualities that I've adapted from mom as a mother, as a daughter, or as a guru.
Both.
Both. I think as a disciple, I see how hard. Even now, she's having 5.5 decades of experience, but she still takes her practices seriously, approaches dance very seriously, and every day she feels like today it's something new. She never takes it for granted. So I think that's the one thing I've learned. Like, from the face of it, it looks like, oh, she's done so much. Vaishnavi has studied so much, danced so much. But I think the approach of today is a new day, today is a new performance. I have to start like a beginner is what keeps me going. I think that's why the motivation to do more comes as well the minute you start. So that's something I hugely have taken it from Amma as a student, and the way she switches role when she's a mom, she's an absolute mom who pampers me, who kind of listens to me throwing tantrums. So I really, tomorrow when I embrace that role, I would really like to be a person where, I'm able to maintain my identity and give it to the next generation.
So as for dance, it's not all about the style and all. It's about the theme as well, right? If
Yeah.
I'm not wrong. So can you give us few themes that you are exploring recently?
Mm. So we've done. So me, since I keep thinking that dance. Yes, it's a lot of spirituality, mythology, but how is it relevant today? Today, how do we put use it to show a very powerful statement or expression? In that exploration, we've done this theme on Swachh Ganga, which is Save Ganga, which is a social theme.
Hmm.
It's important that we save our water bodies. So I did this theme on Save Ganga. Then we did a theme on organ donation, which is very important. So how classical dance is not just like there is a Lord Shiva, there is Lord Rama, but there is also uh, this where you're able to educate the audience today that organ donation is important. Then we've done a lot about women empowerment, AIDS awareness programs. So yeah, and it just feels very good that you're able to use this art to educate people. So we're doing something right.
You're also training so many students, right? So you're leading the next generation. So what is the message for the upcoming artists?
Actually, I am training a lot of students, and the one thing, this is not for young, this is not for students, but it's generally for everybody, that dance is something that is so beautiful that you can embrace it at any point and age. So, for a lot of women who are in their 30s and 40s and even 50s, I don't want, if you really love the art, please go learn it, because don't ever feel like I've missed out on this life and I can't do it, because dance is for everyone. My senior most student is 67.
Okay.
She joined my class when she was 55 and went on to do her Arangetram. So this is for all those women out there who feel like I missed out on it or I was not given that opportunity. Please seize the day and go learn. This is not just art, this is for everything. That just go out there, put yourself out there and learn the art form.
Also, any upcoming projects you are
Uh, yeah,
special?
there are a few in the pipeline which I'm not just supposed to give out details though.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm also planning on having more modules come online where students from different paths can connect to the art form and learn it at their pace, and then get in touch with our school to take it ahead if they want to professionally.
I know Rajeshwar Garu is your guru, but apart from Rajeshwari Garu, who's your inspiration? Whom do you look up for?
Actually, my inspiration keeps changing from time to time, but nowadays, for me, even in my dance class, my a mother who comes in and is learning inspires me, that she's showing me that it's not too late to do something. And so it keeps changing very people to people. I don't have like an iconic inspiring figure, but a lot of women from their day-to-day life who are really you know pushing the odds and trying to pursue and create an identity for themselves really inspire me.
Thank you so much. This is very inspiring journey.
Thank you.
This is Ramya signing off.